Last week, we at TalkTV brought to you the scourge of fly tipping, specifically the absolute state of Hoads Wood in Kent. New statistics since then have revealed that there were 36,000 fly tipping call-outs for councils in 2022 and 23, and that was up 30,000 on the year before. But get this, fly tipping prosecutions were actually down 15%. Well, earlier on, our correspondent Nick Ellaby returned to Hoads Wood as there's been a bit of a development.
Hello, Mike. Some good news to report, despite those shocking figures on fly tipping for the last 12 months. This site that we reported on for your programme last week at Hoads Wood in Kent, which looks like has had commercial waste dumped in it for the last few months, has now actually been shut down by the Environment Agency, working in tandem with Kent Police Rural Task Force. They've placed some concrete blocks here at the entrance, and there is now a court order preventing anyone from going inside, and especially from dumping any rubbish. You know, there is a possible conviction for anyone doing that. And as we told you last week, we actually caught a commercial van, a lorry, full of waste. Looked like it was coming in here to actually tip it into the forest last week. When he backed in, we were already here to do our report, started filming the guy because the stuff in the back of his lorry was exactly the same as is inside this woodland. You can see piles of rubbish some 15 foot high. When he saw us filming him, he then turned around and drove off. And I've been told by local people who are very angry about what's been happening that since we reported on it, they've not seen any more lorries. I've actually got a local resident to speak to us, as well as a band of angry locals here who are very upset about the problem. Carl Ford lives locally. Carl, just tell us, what have you seen over the last few months? What's been reported, and what do you think has happened since we've been here?
So since last July, every other day I travel down this road to commute to work, and I've seen large HGV lorries pulling in here. I asked a question about September and asked them what they were doing. They actually told us they were filling in a hole with soil down the bottom, so I didn't think anything toward it. Local residents have told us differently, and local businesses have told us completely differently, and obviously the state of this place now is absolutely appalling.
Mike, this place could take months and months to clear up. We've heard there's actually a huge hole excavated with rubbish put in it, as well as those 15 foot high piles of rubbish you can see inside the woodland. I've also spoken to another 3 plot holders, people who own land adjoining this dump here, and they tell me they're also upset about it. They've been complaining to the Environment Agency, to the police, and also to Kent County Council. We've had real trouble getting hold of those agencies. The Environment Agency say they can't comment. There is an investigation going on at this time. You know, it's going to take months and months to clear this ancient oak woodland and restore it to its former glory. I thought maybe, Mike, we should launch a campaign to actually get this woodland back to what it once was and let the deer, the nightingales, the butterflies return.
Absolutely incredible, isn't it, that some part of this country could be turned into literally a dumping ground for commercial opportunities. Incredible stuff. Thank you very much indeed for that report, Nick Ellaby there at Hoads Wood. Joining me now is Michelle Zachary, who's a plot holder in Hoads Wood. Michelle, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate your time tonight. It's hard to believe that you're looking at a part of this country that has been so badly treated and has been allowed to be used as a literal dumping ground.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for raising the awareness on this, because I actually first reported it in 2015, right, where the plot next to me had a dumped caravan, a cage which looked like it had been keeping dogs, and it looked like the set of Breaking Bad. Right. And I reported that and went back about 4 or 5 months later to find the whole site had been torched and all the trees around it had been scorched. So it has been, ongoing, and here we are. Nothing was done, and we're in 2024, and it's almost like the inaction has just allowed the fly tippers to think, oh, what else can we do? I reported the logging, which started in 2020, in January 2020, and I thought they were actually just selling wood, and I was concerned that they would get to my plot, which is very near this particular site. Right. and the trees would be gone. But actually, looking at it now, I think what they were doing was preparing this for the actual landfill site.
Yeah.
And this isn't an organised, this isn't just a few lads. This is an organised trail. I mean, the cost of that lorry, that's a lot of money that we're talking.
Well, they're hundreds of thousands of pounds, aren't they? Listen, Michelle, we haven't got a lot of time tonight, I'm afraid, but we must get you back on because I want to explore this and I want to make sure that what happens next is not that these people all move somewhere else and then they start, defacing another part of the country. But listen, thank you so much for talking to us. Michelle Zachary there, a plot holder at Hoads Wood. Incredible story, and one which we're delighted to declare victory over. The independent republic wins the fights that it gets involved in.